This is a playlist that's going to talk through the steps moving from a Google form to importing into Salesforce using a Zap from Zapier. And if you haven't used Google Forms before, the way you get there is clicking on the Google's apps. And if you drag down to the second set, what you get is forms here that you can play with. And so if we're here, we want to start a new form, you can start here. Otherwise, they've got lots of galleries and templates you can play with and look at. And this is really just a test to show you how it works. This is my first time through it, so it's worth understanding kind of what does it look and feel like as you make it work. So this is a sample untitled form. You can create titles, you can create descriptions, you can add questions. What I found interesting was as I was looking at the questions is this is showing up as a multiple choice, but if I instead say select, it shows up as a drop down. But if what I did was to put in last name, it says it's a short answer. So there's some intelligence built into the backside, or at least predictive work to make sure these things show up right, which is interesting. Okay, and so what I did was to build out a sample form, and this one I'm calling New Sales Contact, and it is a test of the Google Forms integration. I just created three fields that I'm tracking on, and then you'll see here the email shows up when and just the two things to see. You can do this to get a new field. You can add a question using this bar. You can also duplicate and clone. If you see this, almost right there it is. You can duplicate there, or you can delete a field. And what else can you do over here? You can show a description and response validation, so it's a little more you can play with anyway. So settings. Once you've done your questions, it's worth looking at what are the settings. We're going to collect email, so that was where if I toggle that on or off, it puts email as the first. If I say we're not going to collect, just so you see how that works, and I save that, what that does is it comes back, and I'm now seeing I'm no longer capturing email. So by clicking here and clicking collect emails, and they can receive a response receipt if they'd like to, right? So, yeah, if they want one, they can get one. I can restrict it. I can limit responses. We can edit. There's lots we can do there just as a setting. We can also play with it. You can look at kind of what the presentations might look like in terms of shuffling question order, or how you would work with quizzes. So there's a lot of functionality here that's definitely helpful. The next piece is then responses. So once we've got a good form and we like it, you can go in on the question, the responses, and the first thing you have to do is to build out a spreadsheet. So you use this icon here, and what it says is you want to create a new, the first time in you have to actually create it. So I'm going to say, yeah, let's create that. And then there's a set of icons here. One is getting email notifications of new responses, and other things you can work with here. But I'm happy with that now. And so what I'm able to do is if you click send, it doesn't actually send it yet. What it does is to say here are ways that you could send it. And what you have is the choice of sending it via email. You can do it by a link, or you can do an embedded HTML. So let's just say for a link, what I would do is, and you can also click a short here, right, and be able to get a short one to be able to copy, and then to be able to send to somebody or whoever else. But let's do this. In the next video, what I'll do is I'll show you what it looks like from a user experience to complete the form, and then we can also look at how do we view responses and what happens there. Thanks for watching.